Hey guys, it's Trevor Laird here and welcome back to this week's edition of Nymera Talk. Now, I thought of no better place that I could record this week's episode from than right by SN15, the Starship down here at SpaceX in Boca Chica, Texas. This is because we are on the cusp of a massive rocket launch for EON and Nion, and we're going to talk all about that during this episode. So let's not delay anymore and let's get started. Okay guys, I am not going to make you wait any longer. I'm so excited to show you some sneak peeks for what's coming up over the next week. So there's going to be a release sometime this week that's going to show you guys, it's going to blow the lid off of what's coming up and what Nion is going to be all about, and it is something very unique. Now when we think back to cryptocurrency, we can think about Bitcoin miners, these huge ASIC rigs and video cards crammed in, that proof of work concept, we have proof of stake, but all of these concepts are starting to get a little bit old and they're not quite scaling right. There's some positives and negatives to all of them. So the Nymera team has really focused on something super unique. And what is that super unique concept? It is proof of time, something that's never been done before within a blockchain. Now let's take a sneak peek at how it all works. If you look at the blockchain market today, arguably among hundreds of blockchains, you won't find a single comprehensive applicable technology. Now that's a controversial thing to say, but the team wants you to hear them out. Yes, there are networks with solid tokenomics models. There are blockchains that solve problems of early networks, and there are some that boast solid developer toolsets. But keep in mind, blockchain was first set to become an inclusive, permissionless, and decentralized technology. And while it did achieve decentralization and permissionless, it failed miserably with the first and perhaps the most important trait, inclusivity. Now, blockchain technology has been around for over 12 years. So it's proved itself in many industries, from banking to retail to medicine and gaming. And despite the endless opportunities this technology theoretically offers, none of the existing blockchain networks can claim with a straight face that they've reached a level of true mass adoption. So there are a couple things here that have to be solved, and the exact setup that we've been talking about now for this brand new version of EON, which is Nion, a brand new blockchain, a real 2.0 thing, is set to solve scalability, cost, and applicability. The existence of proof of work and proof of stake are they're the foundations of blockchain technology, but they're already out of date in a growing market. Proof of work networks are reliable but very bulky and unscalable. Proof of stake are much more applicable for mass usage and energy efficient, but more vulnerable and have unbalanced reward systems. And what's so incredible about all of these systems, they really built up to this moment, but what Nymera is going to do, I think, is going to blow a lot of this out of the water, which is a concept that really hasn't been tried before, and it really makes sense to bring people in, and that is the proof of time concept to the blockchain. And that's going to be the backbone of what this project really is. And don't worry guys, there is so much more coming next week. It's all very exciting, and yeah, I'm pumped. Very cool stuff there. A whole new concept for how a blockchain can work, for how tokenomics can work, for how holders of EON can lend and share. It's going to be something really interesting, and it has an inherent growth of the value of the currency, as it does have transactional value when it's held. So I'm very impressed, almost speechless to this very unique thought and design, and congratulations for the team for coming up with this. I cannot wait to see what happens when it does get released. But I mean, just like the Starship behind me, this thing, in my opinion, is going to be a freaking rocket ship. Now time to move on to the Nymera ecosystem health check and market news. Starting out with the ecosystem health check here, everything is looking good. Now there were a few issues on the 23rd there. There's a technical issue, but that is now corrected. And of course we did have planned maintenance on the 22nd, but everything is resolved. Moving on to the Nymera swap, we had 25,000 euros worth of volume across all pairs, and liquidity is up a bit at 195,000 euros. People who stake their cryptocurrency in the swap have earned $119 in transaction fees over the last 7 days. So you might want to think about getting some of your money staked away in there. But of course, if you don't know how to do that, I will leave a link in the description below to a quick guide of how to get it all done. Looking at top tokens for the week, EON is carrying us through. Let's go over to the volume. We're looking at 21,000 euros being traded on EON, and I have a feeling that there's a lot of purchases on there. EON liquidity is also up a little bit, but sitting around 85,000, which has been there for a couple of weeks now. Of the fees that were generated, a lot of them were generated here on this pair, and the current price is sitting just shy of 6 euro cents. And of course, I think that we're going to see that average rise rapidly, especially as we consolidate the EON market down to 2 pairs. We also have DAI and Uni in second and third place. Moving on to the Nymera exchange here, this is going to be the last time that we do of the video in exactly the same way, since these pairs are changing around, and we will be consolidating our coverage as well onto those pairs, and maybe we'll follow a couple of top volume pairs as well. But again, a lot of things are happening here that can change rapidly. If we go over to BTC EON, not a ton of volume there, but we can see the price did dip down there quite a bit, and we got down to the 460s per BTC. That is a really high jump there. It's sitting around 700 now, but the next trade that's going to happen on this pair is bringing it back into the 450s. Now, what I want to show you here, and for anyone who's a first-time viewer here, this just means that these trades are selling EON in a way that is valuing it at, say, 450,000 EON per Bitcoin, and you know what Bitcoin's worth. But what you can see here, there's only a couple trades here, guys, available at this price point, and then it drops down very, very quickly. So the price can jump very, very fast. Again, this will be the last time we cover the EON Euro and USD pairs, since those will be gone on the 28th. Don't worry, the fiat pairs are coming back, but we're just going to wait until we launch the new blockchain, which is coming up very soon for Nyon, and then you will see those pairs return. It's just consolidating right now in preparation for that big change. Sitting on here, you can see on the USD side, we're at 3 cents. The next trade's available at 7 cents. On the Euro side, 7 euro cents with the next trade sitting there. Still a few trades there around the 7 euro cent level. And for BTC, we're at 115 Satoshis with the next trade available at 177 Satoshis. Moving on to the global markets for the last 7 days, we have BTC taking a little bit of a tumble there, down 10%. This correction was basically, I mean, we're going to take it down to real basics here, but this correction occurred because of some talk from the U.S. President Joe Biden on some double taxation on cryptocurrency. And whenever, we've seen this so many times in the past, guys, whenever we see down corrections like this, I see it as a buying opportunity, but definitely not a selling opportunity. I mean, think about the past. We've seen dips where China's like, oh, we're going to ban, or India's like, we're going to ban BTC, or it doesn't happen. You know, there's always a dip. There's always an emotional reaction, but we have to not be emotional. We have to think. Personally, I like to take a mindset of looking at BTC for its long-term growth, and the fact that it does automatically reduce its supply over time, and that deflation generally pushes the price up in a support level. So anyways, small dips there are always good opportunities to buy. Ethereum kind of held through that without any major correction. Doge took, obviously, like we talked about last week, a major correction, down 17%. I mean, really, with Doge, I mean, really, guys, with Doge, you can take a chance here and say, okay, it could double up back to 50, or it could drop back down to 5 cents. So it's really, if you're counting on Elon's tweets, that's one thing. You could buy in and count on that, but just remember, it's incredibly high risk. Everything else kind of took, you can see here, there's a lot of red over the last 7 days following BTC here. But overall, if we look at all of these investments, they are up quite a bit on the year. So the market is still very healthy, and the bull continues to run. Well, guys, that's all I have for you for this week. Very exciting stuff coming up with the convergence of all of the EON pairs in preparation for Nyon. Lots of interesting things are going to be coming out this week, so take a look on Discord. Make sure you're following Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever they release it. Just take a look and start to look over that material. Now, a reminder, we do have an AMA coming up in May, so I want you guys to look over all the details that are released, get your questions together, and get those sent to me on the Discord chat, and we'll include them in that May AMA. And I'm sure there's going to be lots of questions for how this all works. But definitely a good time to be holding EON and get ready for that conversion to Nion. And don't worry, I have not forgotten, if this is your address above me, you have won $25 Canadian worth of EON, and I will be sending that to you in exactly 7 days. Last week's winner, you'll get yours right now. And if you haven't yet, guys, please like and subscribe to these videos. It really does help the channel grow and expose Nion to the world. For Nymera Talk, I'm Triple Laird.